The Hornet name returns to Brazil, and the first of the family to arrive in stores is the CB500 Hornet. And in this video, you'll find out everything about it. What has changed compared to the 500F, colors, price, top speed, insurance cost, and of course, my first impressions riding this Honda Street Fighter. I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is Brazil's most charming motorcycle channel. And I'm here in Parati, in Rio de Janeiro, invited by Honda to test their newest release. Go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. It deserves it. This is the fourth generation of the CB500, launched in 2014 and extensively updated since. In 2017, it changed a lot, and in 2023, it got updates like a slipper clutch, dual disc brakes, inverted suspension, a new dashboard, and full LED lighting. And finally, now in 2026, it got some changes and, most importantly, the Hornet badge. And let's talk about the design. First of all, a design inspired by its older sisters. Now we have a Hornet family. Honda brought this name back with the 750cc twin-cylinder, then announced the 500 and also the 1000. So you can see the lines here inspired by the Hornet family, which in English means wasp. And according to the Italian designer Giovanni Dovis from Honda, the creator of the new design, he was inspired by the wasp to design the model, creating compact proportions and aggressiveness from the front to the rear, bringing more sportiness. The 500F was already full LED, and this was kept here in the 500 Hornet, including the turn signals that stay on at all times to indicate to the vehicle in front that it's a motorcycle. However, we have a change in the lighting set. Now there's a new signature at the front and also at the rear with the new taillight design. Another change we had was in the dashboard. A very beautiful color, thin film transistor screen. It's the same dashboard, externally, used on the F150R. However, the internal information is different from Honda's entry-level 4-cylinder. So we have a lot of information, and we can even change the display mode of the dashboard. Besides that, it has a lot of information on the screen. This warning light indicates that the side stand is engaged. For you to be careful, the clock here, the neutral indicator, gear indicator, fuel gauge, and tachometer. The tachometer can appear as a circle bar or be hidden. Onboard computer info is also shown here. To adjust the dashboard, you do it directly from the left handlebar. All the information is in the settings. There are several options. Here it even shows the shift point called the shift light. You can turn it off or on to indicate the right moment to shift gears. Besides that, you can choose your favorites, the information that will keep appearing for you. For example, consumption A, consumption B, and also the instant consumption. You can change this information if you want, it's up to you. Anyway, it's a very complete dashboard with several warning lights on the outside. Another new feature is that it has traction control, which can be turned off with just one touch. It will show that the traction control is off. For safety, every time you restart the motorcycle, the traction control is activated again. Unfortunately, unlike the European version, the 500 Hornet doesn't have connectivity on the dashboard and also doesn't come with any kind of outlet. The grips here, the controls on the left side, were changed precisely to adapt to the new dashboard. And due to the changes in the exhaust to comply with the new Promote 5 regulations. There were changes in the catalytic converter at the bottom, and it ended up gaining another kilo, totaling 175 kilos of dry weight. The engine is the same well-known one from the 500F with 2 cylinders, 471 cubic centimeters, and liquid cooling. Yes, a 2-cylinder Hornet, but hold on. Honda will explain soon why they launched the Hornet with this engine. It has been remapped to meet Promote regulations, and Honda made it more torquey. They adjusted the mapping to deliver more at low and mid-range RPMs. The result, it lost 0.6 horsepower and now has 49.6 horsepower. The torque also dropped a little, now it's 4.5 kilogram force meters. The engine has 6 gears and a chain final drive. The previous version already had a slipper and assisted clutch. That was kept. The assisted technology makes it smoother when squeezing the lever, and the slipper technology prevents the wheel from locking when you make a sudden downshift. We made some changes to the brakes, okay? It still has the same dual disc in the front with a diameter of 296 millimeters, and in the rear, a disc with a diameter of 240 millimeters. There was no change in the calipers. The only thing that changed was the brake hose. Here, the hose, which according to Honda is more resistant and expands less than a regular rubber hose. Another important thing to mention, dual channel ABS, which means an anti-lock system both in the front and in the rear. Oh, I forgot to mention, it also keeps the energy storage system that the 500F had. When you brake suddenly at a certain speed, the electronics send a signal to the rear blinkers indicating to the vehicle behind that there was an emergency braking. There was no change in the fuel tank capacity. It remains 17.1 liters of gasoline, and there was no change in the height either. It remains 78.9 centimeters from the seat to the ground. I'm 1 meter and 77 centimeters tall, and I fit really well on this bike, especially now with the new design. We didn't have any changes in the suspensions either. The telescopic fork remains inverted with Showa's separate function fork big piston system, which separates the mechanical part from the hydraulic part in the front suspension. There were no changes in the rear either. Single spring with linkage, preload adjustment, and 119 millimeters of travel. And now that I've presented everything about the Hornet, let's go for a ride with it. And our ride starts here in Taubaté. And we're heading down to Rio de Janeiro. On a road with really winding curves, it's a really cool trip option. For those who don't know, here's a tip. The weather is good, so it's going to be an amazing trip. The new CB500 Hornet already impresses me with its agility. Very agile, guys. It feels like a 300. It's so light. And of course, with the 49 horsepower engine, you have plenty of power. And it gives you sportiness. More than a 300 motorcycle, but in terms of handling and ease of riding, it really reminds you of a 300. That's how easy it is. I'm excited to test it out in the streets of São Paulo, to ride it. So go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Because as soon as the full review video comes out, motoplay style, with the pros and cons and riding in the city right there in the streets. And speaking of fuel consumption too, right? You'll find out, okay? This is a first impressions video because we're doing a controlled ride. We're following the guide's speed. There's a video of this same trip with the NX500. I'll leave the link in the description and also in the card. Go watch it later, okay? Well, what can I say here initially? It's the same engine, okay? So it's the same engine as the 500F. For me, I'd have to ride them side by side to really feel what changed. I haven't ridden the 500F in a while, but I think it has the same engine. What caught my attention was the design of the fairings. I thought the riding position fits much better. Of course, now it's more technological. It's important to take a test ride at the dealership. And this motorcycle here often ends up being the gateway to high displacement bikes. So imagine someone who rode a CG for 2 or 3 years and already knows how to ride a motorcycle. However, she doesn't have experience with more powerful motorcycles. It's a motorcycle with almost 50 horsepower and it's heavier. This motorcycle ends up being good for that reason because it isn't so intimidating. But you already have an idea of what it's like. It's a motorcycle, a big bike, let's put it that way. And then after that, you can keep moving up. If you want to stay within the Honda family, you have the CB650R. For you to keep moving up Fireblade, or if you want, stay in the Hornet family. In Brazil, we will have the 750, already confirmed, and also the 1000, which is confirmed for 2026. It's a lot of fun and easy to corner. Look at this, guys. This bike is really nice to ride. It corners perfectly. Precisely because it has such easy handling, it helps you. It's not a bike that gets in your way. That's why I think it's definitely good for beginners in the world of big bikes. Oh, Amanda, but this engine is weak. Guys, it's an engine that's meant to be an entry-level bike for the super bikes, for the higher displacement bikes. So you have in the specific case of the Hornet, you have a family. There's the entry level, the 500, then 750, then you go to the 1000, which is 4 cylinders, super powerful and all that. Actually, I think they might launch the 300 Hornet abroad, maybe the 125, just like there are other families. So what happens? The person who doesn't have money or who is actually more suited for beginners, he likes the design, the style, he likes that motorcycle, that family, he won't start right away with 1000. Do you agree with me? So the ideal thing to do at this point is to go step by step. And this 500 cubic centimeter engine from Honda used to be worse, you know? Over the years, Honda managed to make it much more fun. However, it used to be more sluggish, let's put it that way, right? That was always something people complained about. It used to be much more economical in the past, and as Honda started spicing it up, it lost a bit of fuel efficiency to achieve this balance, right? With this 500 engine, I've always seen it as versatile for someone who wants to use it daily and also wants to travel, right? Wants to speed up a bit, maybe even start doing track days if that's the case, right? But not as a final bike, more like a transition or, depending on the person's use, even a bike for daily riding. It competes with the Kawasaki 400, the Z400, and also with the MT-03, especially when it comes to twin-cylinder engines and horsepower. And then I think Honda got a bit out of line with the price, unfortunately. The 500s used to be cheaper compared to their competitors, you know? They were cheaper, so people said, just pay a little more. Should I go for the Honda 500 or stick with the MT-03 or the Z400, right? Write here in the comments how much they're selling the CB500 Hornet for in your city. Write it down here below, because I want to know. Well, in my opinion, it could be cheaper, right? I'm about to tell you the price, the current price, okay? Honda's PPS and available colors. Also, I'll answer, well, not me, right? Honda, I'll show you Honda's answer. I'll call Honda and say, Miss Honda, among some questions I'm going to ask, why release a twin-cylinder Hornet, right? Stay tuned. On this kind of route, when you have a really tight mountain road with lots of curves, the Hornet 500 really makes a difference. Because you won't be going very fast there, hitting top speed. Conversely, the torque will stand out. And this bike here has torque at low and medium revs, and you end up with a light bike that will help you with great handling, so you can take corners and your ride will be a lot of fun. So routes with lots of curves.
This bike here is perfect.
You're gonna have a lot of fun on your weekend rides with your friends on trips. And what about the Hornet's top speed, huh? Do you think we'll be able to do it here in this test? Of course, I'm not going to do a top speed run for you guys on a highway. We have to ride safely and respect the speed limits. But I'll do you a favor and tell you what the real top speed is, not the one on the dashboard. Measured by Honda through the MAWA Institute, 163 kilometers per hour as the top speed. Yeah, that's real. We've arrived in parity. And now I'm going to end the video by asking Honda why a twin-cylinder Hornet. And I'll also tell you the fuel consumption I got with it, the price, and also the insurance cost. And I brought Luis Gustavo from Honda here to answer a few questions. Thank you, Luis.
Hello, Amanda, how are you?
Thank you for participating. And I'm already going to ask something that you all asked me a lot on Instagram, which is, why did Honda launch a twin-cylinder Hornet?
Let's go. This is important, right? What's happening with the twin-cylinder Hornet? So the Hornet family is being launched in Brazil and was presented at the Interlagos Festival in May. We have the 500 Hornet and the 750 twin-cylinder, which evolved from the lower displacement bikes. So, with the Street Fighter concept, that's it.
Design.
It's a design focused on naked bikes, but with that more aggressive, sportier look. However, with easy handling for more urban use. Like you said, the last Hornet we launched in Brazil in 2014, the 600, was a 4-cylinder. The CB500 Hornet, the next step in 4-cylinder evolution, was announced at the festival and will arrive in 2026. Look, it's coming. There will be a bike with a Street Fighter concept, sporty, with super performance.
The family aspect is cool. I like that it's not just about money. Skill matters too. No one starts with 1,000 right away. They can work up to it. Want 4 cylinders? Wait until 2026. Here's a controversial question. Why didn't the model come to Brazil with a connectivity dashboard like they have in Europe?
Yes, because here in Brazil, we have some certification processes with the communication regulatory agencies. So it's in the process of being certified. And soon in the future, we'll have connectivity on the motorcycles.
It wasn't like Honda just said, oh, take it out. No. It's always like this, right, guys? Oh my God. As if promote wasn't enough, now they're making it harder with the connectivity dashboard. And to finish, I think the name Hornet is very special for Brazil because Brazil is the place where the most Hornets were sold in the world.
Yes.
Look at that, us Brazilians. And what are Honda's expectations, not just for the 500, but also for the 750 that's coming? So, subscribe to the channel because as soon as that video is out, you'll know. And also about the 1,000. What are Honda's expectations in Brazil with the return of the Hornet name?
So, with the return of the Hornet name, the Hornet family in Brazil, it's mainly to maintain the attractiveness for our customers. The bike concept has always been a central idea. Honda's CB line has always been a strong name for the brand. And now with this concept of the Hornet family, it's about bringing back the importance of this model, this family, to the Brazilian market.
And just a note, even though the CB Twister doesn't have the Hornet name, the design is very similar, right? Brazilian design. This one was designed by the Italian, but the Twister has a Brazilian design, right? And when you look at it, it's very much in line, right? People really liked it, so I think this design is really spot on. But I want to know your opinion. Did you like this new design, this new family? Write it down below. Thank you.
That's it. Thanks. See you later.
Fuel consumption given my driving on winding mountain roads and tight curves, it averaged 22 kilometers per liter. I even checked the bikes of the other journalists, like this red one here, and everyone was around on average. So I believe it's between 21 and 23, but it can be more economical. According to the MAWA Institute, at Honda's request, it can do up to 28 kilometers per liter. Driving calmly around the city, this was a first impressions video. There will be a full review, motorplay style with the pros and cons, but I'm already going to give you a spoiler. I didn't like the connectivity. Luis Gustavo explained why it didn't come and that it lacked a socket. I think it could have come, but there are other pros and cons that I'll cover in this full video. Subscribe and turn on notifications to be the first to know when this video is released. And the new CB500 Hornet is available in 3 colors with a suggested retail price starting at 43,040 Rs plus shipping. 3 years of warranty, including Honda assistance, with coverage not only in Brazil but also in some Latin American countries. And to get yours, get in touch. There are 32 Japauto locations, the largest Honda dealership network in the state of São Paulo. At Japauto, you'll get top service and simple financing. They accept your used vehicle as part of the payment. In fact, with the consortium, you can use your used vehicle as a bid. Check this out. 32 stores are located in São Paulo, Greater São Paulo, Campinas, E2, and the ABC region. There's one close to you. Get in touch now using the phone number on the screen or point your cell phone camera at the QR code on the screen. Don't close your Honda deal without contacting Japauto. If you liked the video, leave a like and share it with your friends and WhatsApp groups. Shall we share this video? I asked Honda why a twin-cylinder Hornet. I asked about the dashboard. Hey, I deserve your like and your share, right? Only Mandinha. Only on the Motoplay channel do you see Mandinha questioning Honda, bringing you first-hand information. Always thorough and honest. I appreciate your subscription, like, and share. Remember, I made a similar video about the NX500, the adventurous sister of the Hornet 500. I'll leave the link up here in the card and also in the description. Go watch it later. And also tell me if you've ever had a Hornet. If you're waiting for the 750 or the 1000, write it down here below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and become a member to get exclusive benefits. See you next time. Kisses.